the way to add the HistoScan is essentially by adding the HistoScan to the available widgets. And then you have access to the HistoScan controller and the HistoScan widget. So if you were to look into the HistoScan controller, this is everything you would need. Once you start the whole process, a thread is started. So here, scan recording, and then the thread here is started. So HistoScan thread. And this has a list of positions which is either provided or generated, so that you say, okay, I want to have this area of, say, minus max position and so, and then it creates this snake-like pattern so that you effectively scan the whole area. And then it moves the stage, it takes images, and then it posts these images after the frames here are captured to a queue, and the queue is then saving the frame. So this makes sure that you can scan fast and you're not limited by the memory bandwidth of your computer. And then once you're done, it just moves back to your position. And how it looks like. So the microscope knows where you are by means of X, Y coordinates. But it does not really know where it is on the sample plane, because the sample, so the XY stage can be a little bit different, and the sample geometry where the slots for the robots are, for example, they are different. And that's where you have to calibrate the position of the microscope with respect to the position of the sample. I don't know whether this makes sense. So let's say, okay, so you home your microscope so that it's at the 0, 0 position. So there are these home buttons where it should move to the 0 position of the microscope, so to the final end position. Whereas I'm not quite sure whether this is implemented correctly in your case, but this we have to find out. And then it's if we're talking in the microscopy coordinates, maybe somewhere here. So this is defined as 0, 0 coordinate here. But this well plate may start at some other location. So the easiest would be you move to some place. Let's say, for example, here. Which is well defined, or maybe the corner, because this is a well-defined mechanical end stop here. Then you say calibrate the position, and then this becomes the reference position. So you see a very, very tiny red dot here. And then when you move, for example, you want to move here, then you just press here, and then the microscope should move there. So that makes sure that the sample geometry coordinates are matching the one from the actual physical microscope, if that makes sense. And then
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So for the well plate, can we design this ourselves?
Sure.
And let the microscope to move.
Exactly. So I already created 3 of those here, and because, I can also add the one for the robots. So this is I just need to derive that from the CAD I created back then. And then we have the 3 robots, and then it's the same thing. So you, for example, move the microscope, right now manually to that position here. Say here, and then you say, okay, this is my calibration, and then this is now becoming our 0, 0. And then we, for example, want to move here, or here, or here, and then the microscope knows where to go. And then if you want to scan this area here, then it does it essentially by then moving the microscope and capturing many images of the whole sample geometry, and then stitch that to a large area. And for this, we need to have a few information, and for this we then should meet with the microscope and all the software installed maybe the next time. Because one thing that's crucial is like is X connected to X. So this here is the X direction, this is Y. And so this could be the first issue, that the microscope's axes are not connected to the right ports. So that maybe, and then the direction. So this is plus this is also plus, so 0, then here that's plus, and this is also plus. So this can be swept, and then also the camera can be rotated, right? So that, so this whole thing can be formulated in a matrix formulation. So it's just a linear transformation of these 6 coordinates, and this is, well, I've implemented that already in the pixel calibration tool, but I don't know whether this is really working. So start stage calibration should in the end also output the corresponding relationship between the X, Y, and the camera rotation. So, so this is just a brief recap, but let's try to get this here working so that you enable the HistoScan, and then we have to find out whether this is X and this is Y, and then we can start adding your specific coordinates, because once you have to calibrate it, it's always the same, and that's about it. So maybe since